Coming to you live from Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, following a Mets 5-0 win over the Nationals. This is the Mets Corner. I'm your host, Steve Antaki. Let's get into it. First, a couple of things to discuss. I haven't done a show in a week. Very, very busy week with work. Had to go upstate. Saw my brother graduate 2 years later due to COVID. So I was very busy. I had a lot to do. Wasn't able to get on the pod, on YouTube, all these different things. The Mets had a West Coast trip. I couldn't stay up till 1 a.m. recapping Mets games, waking up at 6 a.m. So it was a little bit of an occupational hazard, to say the least. But we're back. Mets Corner is back, better than ever. We have a really great team to talk about, a really great series, a really great everything to talk about. Now, another thing before I get into it, I first wanted to have a moment of silence for the Philadelphia Phillies. It is pretty sad to see a $200 million team struggle to be the best team in their own state when the other team in their state is the Pittsburgh Pirates. So a moment of silence for the Philadelphia Phillies. Thank you. Next, I mean, the headline today, what can we say? 6 in a row. This team keeps winning. And I really don't want to talk about the series because I think that's not a valuable way to talk about baseball. Baseball's a day-to-day sport that needs to be talked about each and every day. But 6 in a row is 6 in a row. This team is hot. This team wins games the right way. This team is winning games in a not very close manner. I mean, they've won their last 3 games by 8 runs, 10 runs, and 5 runs. Edwin Diaz hasn't had to do anything. I know he pitched today, but this team has been doing it the right way. They're winning how you want them to win. They're going to continue to win how you want them to win if they keep this approach at the plate. It all comes down to their bats. I mean, DeGrom coming back is going to be amazing if he does. Scherzer coming back is going to be great. But, like, this team's offense, if this team has any chance of being anything, it's the offense. And they do have a chance of being something. They're 35-17. They're 18 games above 500. They are a phenomenal baseball team right now. And, you have a perfect homestand going into this 10-game road trip. It really makes you feel good. And it makes you feel even better that these wins aren't fugazi. They aren't last year's Mets wins. These aren't the Patrick Mazeika's 2-foot singles that are winning games. These are wins that are convincing. These are wins that are showing you this team has what it takes to go into LA this weekend and maybe take 3 out of 4. At least they can split. It wasn't like last year where it was like walking to the gallows. It was like, this is completely different. This team knows what they need to do at the plate, and they show you night in and night out that they can do it. I think the headline is the battery of Carrasco and Nido today get the job done. I mean, the Mets didn't need really anything else. Carrasco gave him 5 solid. He flirted with some danger throughout the game, but all in all, did his job. Nido got 4 RBI. I think it was 4 RBIs or 3 RBIs, 4 hits, which I'll be honest, I don't know if Tomas Nido had 4 hits in May when the rest of the whole team was hitting, but whatever. He's starting off June well. Good for him. I think Tomas might have been feeling a little pressure from Patrick Mazeika because Mazeika has significantly better at-bats and plays just as good a defense, but I think Nido made himself feel better about staying here once James McCann comes back with this performance today. He was the hero of the game. No doubt about it. He played really well. And 4 for 4 is 4 for 4. So congrats to Tomas. To recap the game quickly, they went up 2-0 in I think the 4th inning on a Nido single. D. Gordon, who's a Gold Glove second baseman, who's playing in center field. I mean, the Nationals just they're I don't even know if you can call them rebuilding. They're like tearing it down stages. They're like, they don't, you sign 42-year-old Nelson Cruz, who stinks. And then you have some pretty nice young players like these Keibert Ruizes and this kid that they had playing shortstop today. I forget his name, but and then you pair that with Juan Soto, there's not a team in the league, I think, that knows less what it is than the Washington Nationals, but that gets back to the point of D. Gordon playing center field when he's a Gold Glove second baseman. In any event, Mets go up 2-0. Carrasco holds the Nationals scoreless. Mets attack on a run with Lindor's 10th straight game with an RBI. I mean, last time we spoke, I think I was talking about has Lindor been good or bad? And I said he's somewhere in the middle. That narrative in about 8 days has shifted to he is playing good. He is playing very good. He is playing like the man we all wanted him to be with the $341 million contract. He's backing it up on defense. He's doing it with the bat, and you're seeing the number 3 hitter the Mets thought they were getting in this trade. 8th inning, Nido tacks on 2 more. Mets hold on to win 5-0. Game wasn't ever really in doubt. The Nationals are a bad team. The Nationals led, I think, for 1 inning this entire series. It was the first inning of the first game. They were up 3-0. And then, drop of a hat, the Mets came roaring back. They've got the ball rolling. They blow them out on Monday night. They blow them out on Tuesday night. They blow them out. They handily beat them Wednesday afternoon. So what more can you say? This team is just rolling. They're hitting on all cylinders. It is a team that is confident and not cocky. They're confident that they know that they know their strengths. They play to their strengths. You have guys showing up every night. McNeil the other night went 0 for 5. Mark Canha goes 4 for 4. McNeil's the next day goes 3 for 5. It's like they just know how to pick each other up. They know how to pick their pitchers up, and they've done so in a great way. Since Scherzer has gone down, I don't know the exact stat. I should. It's probably my Mets morning fact tomorrow. They got to be close to like 7 or 8 games over 500. I mean, they are just playing out of their mind. They are playing the best the New York Mets have played in 16 years. There's no other way to cut it. It's a baseball team built on their offense, which the Mets never are, led by their first baseman, who is an MVP candidate, and also led by their super utility man, Luis Guillorme, who is, maybe he's got to be the fan favorite. Just what an awesome dude. He just shows up. He doesn't strike out. I think Gary Cohen said, and this is one of my 2 quotes of the game. He has more walks than strikeouts, and it's like, to put that in perspective, especially in the way today's game is played, it's an amazing feat. And Guillorme's getting playing time every day. He's going to start taking the bats away from Eduardo Escobar. He's playing too well. He plays better defense, and he hits better. And it's like, maybe this lights a fire under Escobar's ass. I don't know. It could. It hopefully does, the same way Nido appeared to have his awoken today. But, hey, any competition is good. The Mets having competition within their walls is good. And we'll take it as fans, man. That was one thing. And then the other thing I wanted to point out about today was cool to see Carlos Carrasco's dad. Apparently the first time he's ever seen him pitch in person was today. Carrasco's been in the big leagues for 11 years. I think his father's had trouble getting here from Colombia. But today he was able to go see his son. Carlos pitched very well. Carlos has pitched very well all season, aside from maybe 1 or 2 hiccups here or there. But all in all, Carrasco has been probably without question, the best number 4 in baseball. Is really probably a 3, and he's a pretty good 3. He's a good pitcher. He shows up. He's a completely different guy now that he's healthy. And the Mets needed him today to get those 5 innings, and then handed it off over to my unsung hero of the game, which is Seth Lugo. Lugo went out there, pitched 2 innings, and saved this pen heading into the Dodger series. Everybody aside from Lugo is fresh to go tomorrow. That's huge. Drew Smith coming back somehow from his broken pinky and not being hurt. I don't know how that happened. I saw that happen. I saw his pinky again. To reiterate on this program, I am not a doctor, but I saw a pinky shaped the wrong way. It was heading in the wrong direction, which you never want to see from a pitcher with his right hand. And it didn't matter. Drew Smith came out 2 days later and was throwing 97 miles per hour. You take that. I keep saying that. I keep saying you take that with the Mets because it's everything they've been doing is more than good enough. It's been exactly what you want. Everybody's picking each other up, and it speaks to the character and the leadership of this team behind Buck Showalter. So, yeah, kudos again to Lugo for getting through 2 innings today, keeping the fresh, and getting this team ready for what shapes up to be their biggest test of the season. We continue to say that. I feel like we say it every week, coming up, they got so-and-so. Originally, it was the Giants at home, or originally it was the Phillies, and then it was the Phillies. and then it was the Giants at home, and then it was, the Cardinals on the road, and then it was, home against the Cardinals, and then on the road against the Giants. And the Mets have stepped up in every situation. They lost 2 series this year. They could have won both, and arguably should have won both. They're never out of a game. They are as competitive and well coached a team as we've ever seen the Mets be. And it speaks to leadership. It speaks to everything the Mets have lacked in the years past. So I have to feel confident heading into this road trip. I know it's not an easy one. I know, 4 in LA, followed by 3 in San Diego, followed by another 3 in LA against the Angels. I think if you're a Mets fan, you're sitting here and you're hoping to, ideal. I mean, out of this world is 7-3. Ideal is 6-6. 5-5 is probably what I would expect, and 4-6 I would put as I can live with. Those are the ranges I would say. Anything worse is bad. They can't go 3-7 on this road trip. Anything better, if they go 8-2, my God, if they go 8-2, I will lose it. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. This team is playing too well right now to think that far in advance. This team has shown time and time and again that no matter what obstacle is thrown at them, whether it's Max Scherzer getting hurt, whether it's the bullpen faltering late in games occasionally, they pick each other up. They continue to do it the right way. They continue to play the game the right way, defensively, offensively, pitching, from a managerial standpoint. Everything they've done has been the way you want a baseball team to be played, the way you want a baseball team to play. So it's nice to wake up on June 1st and the Mets have a 10.5 game lead. I mean, it's never happened before. It's one of the largest leads in MLB history on June 1st. And I am pleasantly surprised to see it, to say the least. If you told me on April 7th, I think is when the season started, the New York Mets were going to get 8 starts out of Scherzer and DeGrom combined, eight starts. So they've played 51 or 52 games now, and they've gotten 8 starts out of Scherzer and DeGrom. I mean, it's I'm off the top of my head, I think that's like less than 20% of their games. Like, that speaks to how well the Bassets and the Carrascos have been, and even the David Petersons and Trevor Williams have been, and Taijuan Walker too. I can't forget Taijuan, who's going tomorrow. Speaks to the Drew Smiths and even the Joely Rodriguez's and the Edwin Diaz's, who have stepped up in the absence of these 2 stars. And again, the Mets relying on their offense is the way to do it. It's the way to build. It's the way to grow. It's the way this team will make it to where it wants to go. It's all on the bats. The Mets have a lot of them. They just every night, it's Kenna, it's McNeil, it's Guillorme, it's Pete, it's Lindor, it's Marte, who has been on fire. He had an amazing homestand. It's done the right way. They're playing the right way, and I think there's very little doubt amongst Mets fans that this is going to be a good road trip. I think that they have everything they need to go out there and to win 6 or 7 games. So we'll be tuned in. Game doesn't start tomorrow till 9:30, so it'll be a late one. Probably do a morning pod, but it was good to get back on the feed today. I apologize for not doing it the last few days. Hey, the Mets keep winning when I haven't done it, so I was afraid to jinx it, but no, it's good to be back. So yeah, Metsies 6 in a row, 35-17, just playing lights out. Everything you want, absolutely everything you want. So that'll do it for me tonight. As always, you can follow me on the Mets Corner at a Mets fan, and then at the Mets Corner on whatever social media platform you'd like. I have to thank my wonderful producer, Maggie Rose, for letting me take over the living room every night to do this. Very happy to, have a girlfriend that understands that I need the room and is so appreciative and helpful. And thank you to whoever is tuning in from wherever you are in Metsland. So We will see you probably not tomorrow because the game's at 9:30, but Friday morning is when I'd expect to drop a pod. Probably not a YouTube, probably a pod. So I'll see you all then. And until then, let's go Mets.